Hello everyone, this is Raja here, and in today's video we are going to discuss how to create a WordPress website in Amazon AWS. Basically it is the tutorial about how you can host your WordPress website on a cloud service provider like AWS. If you are not aware what AWS all about, AWS is a cloud service provider and it gives you a host of services through which you can do a lot of things. So if you go into AWS page, you will basically come into this page and there you can just scroll down and explore what are the services related to the context they provide. So you can see that they provide services related to analytics, application integration, blockchain, augmented and virtual reality, business applications, compute, customer engagement, databases, developer tools, and there are a lot of them. Like you can even do robotics and Internet of Things with them. But we are not going to discuss all these stuffs here. We are going to discuss about how to create our WordPress website on AWS. So to do that, basically, um, you need to have a few things you need to have an account with AWS. So before we go into that, why would you like to create a WordPress website on AWS? Is a question that may pop up in your mind because there are a lot of service providers, there are a lot of hosting and domain services there with which you can work and you can host your sites there. AWS basically gives you a lot of options. AWS to start with comes with an option called AWS free tier option, and in this free tier option you are going to get a 12 month of free AWS subscription. So basically the compute and the stuffs which you are going to get is for basically for free. So if you don't want to attach a domain name to your website but you still want to run in internet and you want to make changes and tweaks all in the WordPress way, you can do the same thing in AWS. You can check the same website in your mobile devices, your laptop. You can check the responsiveness of those websites. You can do tweaks. If you are like learning WordPress, or if you are like a freelancer using WordPress, you can show your projects to your customers, clients, and you can also work with collaboratively with your friends and with your colleagues by using this WordPress AWS instance. So to start with, in AWS, you need to first have a you need to sign in to AWS, and after you sign in, you need to uh, go to something called AWS Management Console. So if you sign in for a 12-month free subscription, and then you go to AWS Management Console, you will come up here where you have a lot of services. If you click on the services, then you will see these areas which we talked about. Under these, there are a lot of services which AWS provide. So basically, to create a website, we need to have you need to use EC2 services. So let's go into EC2 services and see how to do it. So after you click on the EC2, EC2 is basically the compute service which they provide. Is basically the RAM, the CPU, and the disk which they will provide, on which your actual website will be hosted. So this is EC2. So I have selected EC2, and then you can select the region from where you can host your website. So uh, depending upon where you are staying, like if you are in US, or if you are in Asia Pacific, or if you are in Europe, depending upon that you can select these places which are near to you. Depending upon that, your website performance will be better. If you like I'm Kolkata based, so I'm in India, and I have chosen like Asia Pacific region, so my website will be hosted in Asia Pacific. If I like access it from India, then the performance will be better here. So, but if I go to US, or if I go to something like South America, then the website performance may lag for a few milliseconds. But depending on these factors, you need to select a region where you want to host your website. After you select a region, basically, you need to launch your instance. So to launch an instance, you just need to click launch instance, and then you will get all these options like what kind of image you want to start with. So what is an image? Like Amazon machine image is basically a type of package which when you convert into a server instance gives you the server. So basically, if you see, this is a Amazon Linux to AMI instance. This is a Red Hat Linux instance. This is a SUSE Linux instance. This is a Ubuntu Linux instance. So accordingly, there are different operating systems and which have different versions. Depending upon that, you can select your instance. So to do WordPress, we will come to this place called My AMI, and then AWS Marketplace. In AWS Marketplace, if you click twice, you will have these options like the images of WordPress. So basically, AWS Marketplace provides you with nearly 2,900 products currently, and every now and then they are adding new products. So basically, these products are nothing but AMI packages. That is, your application is packaged with the hardware and the software and the operating system. You see it here, like it's a WordPress is basically built upon a Linux Ubuntu system, and it's running on it's a like 64-bit system, and it's a Amazon machine image. So this is what image is all about. If you search WordPress here, you will get a lot of images. If you search WordPress here, you will get a lot of images. Here you see few are free tier eligible images, and here few are not free tier eligible images. But there are a lot of WordPress image which you can like select from and start doing your experiment. So I will select the WordPress certified by Bitnami and automatic. And if you see, it has like 4 star and nearly 107 ratings. So 107 peoples have rated this. So this is the one which I'm going to use. So after you do launch instance, you just need to select this, and then comes the part of selecting your machine. It will just give you the price details. So basically, if you are in a free tier, it won't charge you anything. But if you are not in a free tier, this is how you are going to be charged. So it is always pay as you go model. So basically, if you are running a T2 micro or nano, you see the price is very less. So it is like point 0.006 dollar per hour in a T2 nano instance, and 0.012 per hour in a T2 micro instance. So depending upon that, if you are using your website if you are not if you don't want to keep your website up, you can also bring it down if you want. And like for learning purposes, you can always do that. But if you are running a website, you don't want to bring it down, you want to keep it all up all the time. So if you also select that, it won't add too much amount because it's a very low amount. And depending upon what kind of website, like if you are running a large website or small website, depending upon that, you need to select your instances. So since we are doing it for education purpose, we are going to select a T2 micro instance. And T2 micro instance is by the way free if you are doing it for free tier. So let's continue it, and I will get an option to select. You see here, it is saying in green that the free tier eligible for T2 micro. So let me select it. So what I get in free tier is I get one CPU, I get 1 GB of memory, and then I have the storage. The basic storage will be there, and you can add some storage over also. So basically in a free tier subscription you will get 30 GB of, up to 30 GB of free storage. You can utilize that. So after you select it, let's go to next configure instance setting. So this place is basically telling you what will be the network and subnet and stuff. So you need not to make any change here if you are not like having any specific requirement down here, but if you want to change subnet network, you can go ahead and do that. But basically you can keep things as it is and you can go to next. Then it is a storage part. Basically it comes with 10 GB of storage, and you can go up to 30 GB. Like you can add more 20 GB here. New volume sorry, a new volume here, and you can utilize it. But their 10 GB for WordPress website will work fine for you. Then you can add tags over here, which we are not going to do here. And then you have this security option. So basically what here it says that uh, the rules what you have for your security, the from where like you can have your access your applications, and from where you cannot have access to your applications. So basically you want to access your applications. It runs on a port 80. So basically what you want to do here is like here you want to change the source to my IP. So accordingly it will take your current IP address and populate it. But if you want to like provide all access to all the peoples here, you can change it accordingly. So currently, since we are doing it for educational purpose, let make it to my IP. So my only I will be able to go into this instance, and then let's review and launch it. Then it will ask me for creating a key pair or selecting a selecting a key pair if it already exists. So basically key pair is like the method of connecting to a instance if you want to do it from a backend, and like it gives you the assurity, since these are in the cloud. It gives you the assurity that you only own this site. So you can like go in and create a new key pair, and you can download the key pair and use the same. But I already have a key pair, so I will go with that. I'll acknowledge it and I'll go with that. Okay, so as soon as you do that, it will start creating a website. So uh, basically what it does here is like it brings up a server which you saw, which has like 1 GB of memory and 1 GB of like one CPU core, and on that it will be like running our WordPress instance. So basically this is the server you see. It is already running, but is initializing some stuffs. And as it initializes, you can have a check at its uh, system logs. There's a system logs. It is not reflecting. It does not reflect very soon. So it takes a few seconds to reflect the data down there. So basically, at that point, it says where your stuffs are and how it is doing. So need to wait for some time. In this instance log, basically uh, instance log, yeah, get system log. So in this system log you will get actually the password of your instance, default password through which you can log in. So let's wait for some time, and after it is done we will have our password, uh, just to ensure that we are able to connect to the system. Let's copy this and try it hitting from my IP, and you see yes, we have this website running in. So you come back to the dashboard. You see, this is the public IP of the instance which we just started, and we are reaching this public instance, and here it is. Like, you have a total WordPress website running on here, which is the 2019 WordPress theme, and you see it is powered by Bitnami. And if you click on here, you will get all the information about this website. Like, this is a cloud image for WordPress built by Bitnami, and this details will be there. To log into your admin console, you have these options. To access the PHP, you have these options, and like, you can always read these options and go for whatever you want. So these are the guides for you. If you want to go and check this page, you can disable this page also. So whenever, like, you don't want this thing to be appear, you can go and disable this page. You can check the guide which is here. So basically, you find that this is how we can start our WordPress. Now, if you want to make any customization in the WordPress, you need to log into this WordPress instance. So basically, to log into this WordPress instance, as I said, you need to go back here, and you need to check what is your instance password. And now you see the logs are appearing. From the log, you can just scroll below and come to the very bottom part, and here you can find just above it, just above the very bottom, you can find there is user ID and password. User ID is basically user, and the password you can copy it from here, and that is actually your password. And you can come to the main page website, and you can just give a slash and write wp hyphen admin. And after you give wp hyphen admin, you will get the AWS console. You will get the WordPress pop-up for logging in. So your user ID is basically user, and your password is the one which you copied. And then you click login, and you will be logging into the WordPress dashboard. So you see, we are in the WordPress dashboard, and after you are in the WordPress dashboard, you basically can do all the stuffs which you can do with your WordPress website. To know what kind of website you can build with WordPress website, you can always visit my channel and see how you can create an e-commerce website, or how can you can create a restaurant website, or options like that. And you can just start doing the same thing from here onward. So basically, this is how you can set up your WordPress website on AWS. Now there are a few catches here. So since AWS allow you a free tier, it will allow you as pay as you go model. Basically, when you bring down your site, your IP will be changing. So to get rid of that, like, you need to have something called static IP assigned to your website. So you need to basically go into elastic IPs, and then you need to just click here and have allocate IP, and you need to click allocate, and you need to close it, and then you need to associate address. And here, when you come and you select the drop down of the instance, it will show you your running instance, which is actually a WordPress instance. And if you just select this one, it will give your instance, and you can then associate this IP to your instance. And again, if you go back to your instance, you will see that its IP is uh, let me check once. Yeah, its IP is changed. So its elastic IP is 13 234 43 141, and this is actually the IP of the website. So if I bring it down also and I bring it up, then this same IP will stick. So let's try that. Let's go to instance state, and whenever you are not using a website, you can just right click on your you can go to EC2 services, you can go to EC2, and then you can go to your running instances, and when you are not using it, you can basically go to instance state and you can stop your instance. When you stop your instance, you see that your IP is still there. uh, you refresh it couple of times, still said stopping. So when you refresh it and it is actually stopping, if you refresh this page, you won't find anything because the server is actually shutting down. So you see that this site cannot be reached anymore, and this is in stop state. So basically after it will take a while to get stopped. So basically if you stop it, AWS won't charge you anything, but don't think like it won't charge you nothing, because you are still using the the memory, the space which you are using, like 10 GB is there. In free tier it is fine, you can keep on using it and you can use up to 30 GB per month. You can utilize it full, there is no issue. But like after you are off from free tier, it will charge you for that, but that charge is the very least minimum charge. And if you like don't want to have that charge, you can always select, and you can go to instance stage and terminate it. So after you terminate it, it basically wipes out and goes out from everywhere. So basically AWS don't charge you anything after that. So you can create your instances, you can spin up WordPress, and then you can make changes, and if you don't want to have uh, uh, like uh, IP which keeps on variable IP which keeps on changing every now and then, you can have elastic IP which is basically acting as your static IP, and you can have it assigned to your instance. So it's taking some time. Let's refresh it. It's still stopping. So it does take some time. So after it stops, basically we want to start it up once again and see that if the IP is changed, and we are able to use it from a fixed IP. So just few minutes you need to have, uh, just wait for few moments. So yeah, it stopped now, and you see it's still sticking with the same IP which we selected, the elastic IP. So after it stopped, you can just select here, go here, and you can select yes start. So it won't take much to start. So let it go and let it start. Let's select this address and change the previous address. It's still not started. Let's wait for some time. So after it says running, it also takes few minutes to have a WordPress coming up. Okay, uh, just copy this one, paste it here. Here you go. So you see that the same IP is now again working, and if I go and write wp admin, I get the same prompt from on where I can put in the user ID and the password and I can log in. So basically you learned about how you can basically initiate your instance, a WordPress instance in AWS, and you can log into your WordPress dashboard. You can also select Elastic IP, which is a static IP for your WordPress website, and ensure that after it goes down, its IP doesn't change, and you get to check the same IP again and again, and we also learned about how to configure our inbound rules for this instance so that we can reach to this site from our systems. So if you want to reach out from any other system also, you can go to the security groups later, and you can select the one which is related to you, the one of the security groups which is currently we are working upon, and you can select the inbound rule, and you can edit, and you can add a new rule, and you can add HTTP rules, custom TCP rules. You can select a port range, or you can give any range if you want anyone to have any access, and if you give anywhere, so you can basically and save it, you can basically access this site, uh, you can have this let's make it all TCP. Yeah, let's make it all TCP. Then it will give all port range, and you can access it basically from anywhere, from any server, like any box, any workstation, or any mobile device, and you can save it, and there you go. So basically these are the things we did, and it's a good starting point, and you can always go and check what are the other services that are there, and how these services can prove beneficial to your website. So that's it, guys. Let me know your views about this tutorial about how you can use AWS for your WordPress website. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. We will again meet in another video. Till then, bye bye and have a good time.